Okay, so here we are. Our power's off. I just wired them up. We're going to test them in just a second, but you can see my hot came in and my hot's jumped, so it services the receptacle. And the hot also comes over here and hits the hot side of the switch. There's nothing attached to the top there. That's because this hot wire here, because of that tab in the middle there, is going to service both of them. These wires here go off on the different light branches. So they are, one of them goes out here and is that metal clad wire right there, right here. And one of them is all these lights up in my ceiling here, okay? So, if we remember our switch, we only needed to interrupt the hot. So those neutrals don't even have to be in this box. So that's why I use those to pull up. I did need one neutral here though for my outlet because I need to have a full circuit here. So I have 120 volts here. When they come up, all of my neutrals get put together and I have that new cap in there. That's the metal wire that goes out my metal clad and out the wall, then out through there. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the power on. We'll see what happens here. Right now my switches are turned off. Go to my panel and I'll flip this back on. That's a good thing. It didn't just pop right away when I did it, meaning that something was definitely wrong with this. So I have it that my top switch should service my inside lights. When you have a live outlet like this hanging out, you got to remember that you're hot. Okay? So you've got to be very careful in using these things because they are hot. So I'm just going to touch the switch here. Lights come on. And lights go off. So now, turn those off. And now this one here, if I turn, well, let's take it off first. And let's see if I have any power out here. So here's my switches here. So I'm not getting anything. We turn the light on. So now this should be hot. So that switch is operating this circuit here for the light outside here. So that's a good thing. Okay? So the next thing now, I'm going to go turn my breaker off again so I can put everything back in the boxes. But I'm going to make sure that that was the right circuit. I know it was, but you always test to make sure. So we're dead again, so I can pull those stuff back in. It's a lot of wires to put back in here. And they all get bent back in behind it, and you make sure that they're not touching. Like I told you before, my ground wire was touching a screw on my switch, and every time I use that switch, it would just, it would short out. It would ground out, so that was a problem. So I had to switch it. There's nothing wrong with the wiring, it's just that I had so many wires in the box there that it was tough to get everything back behind. This one's going to be a little bit of a barrel also, I can see. But anyways, that one, no problem. That cover will go back pretty easily. Okay? All right. So the last thing that I have a concern with is putting this underside here so I can put these lights in. Again, here are the lights that I'm using. I put these things in here so you can see that those beams that are out there, I brought them in and they're attached in here, but I get concerned about how much weight this thing can hold before it starts to droop over time. And I certainly don't want to droop over time because then I'd have to put some 45-degree angle brackets on it, and I don't want to do that. So I've got to figure out material to put below this. The stuff I have is the white oak, and white oak is really, really heavy here. I plane it down to 5/8, but it's still a heavy material. So I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do. I'll probably plane it down to 1/2 inch. So take another 1/8 of an inch off it to take a little bit more weight off it. And then I'm going to put some shiplap joints on it. And I'll show you how that goes on. I'll actually do a small video on that also just to show you how I'm going to be putting nailer strips up here and getting it ready for the underside. Okay?